everyone, if Australia is on your mind for your higher studies, then you have just clicked on the right video. Let me help you to know that how this country is so amazing for your higher studies. Let's talk about geographically about Australia. It is divided into 5 regions, wherein the major regions are Western Australia, Southern Australia, New South Wales, Queensland and the Northern Territories. The capital for Australia is Canberra and the currency used there is the Australian dollar. Let's talk about Now let's discuss why you should select Australia for your higher studies. There are many reasons. Firstly, universities with very good rankings. There are lots of courses availability. The pathway courses are also available for students. Third, the students, they are not charged with any kind of application fees and the visa outcomes are very quick. The universities also allow students to work part-time during their studies. They can also grab for a post-study work visa which can be granted up to 5 years, and you can also get an opportunity to bag a PR. So now let's talk about the educational institute. There are 2 types of educational institutes in Australia, universities and private colleges, out of which there are 43 universities in total, from where 38 are the public universities, 3 are the private universities, 2 are the international universities. Australian University also offers pathway programs for bachelor's, master's degree and doctoral programs. Now let me tell you what pathway programs focus mainly on. They focus on the foundation, diploma, LQB programs. Additionally to this, the LE course can also be studied under the pathway colleges. So let's talk about pathway programs. What actually pathway programs are? Pathway programs are the good opportunity to the student who are unable to meet the direct entry requirement at the Australian University. There are 2 types of pathway programs, academic pathway program and secondly English proficiency pathway program. Academic pathway programs, the student who scored below 55% in the 12th grade can be offered these programs. It's called a Diploma Leading to Degree program, which is also called as a D2D program. Now, second is the English language program. It is also called as LE course, EAP, ELP, etc. It is offered to those students who are falling short in their English language requirement. Duration of this course is restricted to minimum only of 10 weeks, wherein the fees can cost up to 300 AUD to 400 AUD per week. Academic, let's know when you can apply for your applications. Australia universities have major intakes in February and July, offered at the universities and the private colleges as well, where the minor intakes or the small intakes are in October, November and May. These are also offered by the private colleges and for some major universities. Okay, so let me tell you about some popular courses which are also on the skill occupation list of Australia. Information technology, business management, engineering, education and teaching, building and construction, nursing and health, hospitality tourism, pharmacy, media communication and many more. So now let me tell you about some popular group of universities which are also known as Group of 8 Australia, which has the universities like Australian National University, the University of Adelaide, the University of Queensland, the University of Sydney, University of Melbourne, Monash University, UNSW Sydney and the Western University Australia. Now coming on to the most important part, post-study right. Now in Australia, it totally depends on the geographical areas, which is divided under 3 categories, major cities, category 2 and category 3. Now, if you complete your bachelor's degree in a major city, you will get 2 years of post-study right. But if it is completed from a category 2 or 3, it can lead to 3 to 4 years. Likewise, if you complete your master's or any research work course from a major city, you will get 3 years of post-study work. But if it is completed from category 2 or 3, it can lead up to 5 years of post-study work. Now, finances, the most important concern of all the parents. Now, to start your studies in Australia, a student would require a minimum of 48,500 Australian dollars, which would roughly cost you 30 to 35 lakh INR per annum to start your studies. Let's break down the expenses for your easy understanding. Total tuition fees will cost you around 35,000 Australian dollar approx. The living cost for Australia is 29,710. The airfare from India to Australia will cost you 2,500 Australian dollars, wherein the visa fees is $2,000. If you see this total expense, that would come around 68,000 approx. But When you go to Australia and start working, the working hours per hour rate is $24.10, from which you will be able to recover 20,800 of your expenses done. Funds acceptance. Now, what kind of funds can be accepted for your application? One is the education loan, personal loan, balance in your savings bank account, fixed deposit, and funds from your provident fund account. Now, from where these funds can be accepted? It can be from the SBI and the associates of this bank, nationalized bank, other public sector banks, private sector banks like Indian Bank and Foreign Bank, and some regional rural banks. Now, who can sponsor the student? Their parents, grandparents, which can be maternal and paternal, siblings, student himself, and an uncle and aunt. But who cannot do it is cousins, family, friends, and distant relatives. Now, which funds cannot be accepted? Those can be sales of goods, agreement of sale of any property, agreement for repaying of loan, or fund transfer from a third party sponsor. Now, non-acceptable funds. Funds from post office, cooperative banks, investments in mutual funds and shares, funds held from PF account, GPF account, or EPF account. Your student visa actually falls under subclass number 500. The category will cost you 2000 AU. Eligibility criteria for a genuine student. It includes academic requirement, English requirement, and the GS requirement, which is also known as genuine student immigration requirement. Eligibility and GS student. Academic entry requirement are: for a UG program, a student should have 60 to 90% in HSC. For pathway programs under UG, students should have 50 to 60% in HSC. For direct PG programs, a student requires 50 to 75% in undergrad. Now, the English language requirement. The IELTS requirement for PG is 6.5 overall with no less than 6 bands. For UG, 6 bands with no less than 6 bands. And for pathway, it's 6 with no less than 5.5. Whereas PD is also accepted with overall of 58 with no less than 50, 50 with no less than 50 for UG, and 50 with no less than 42 for pathway courses. Statement of purpose. Students should mention all the details about the application and all the immigration histories and employment details in the statement of purpose. It should have all the details which should include the gaps regarding the financial, their marital status, immigration history, if they have traveled anywhere in past, employment details, value of the course to them in future, incentives of returning to home, economic situation in their home country, relevance to the courses of applications and background. Hope this part details were helpful to you. Now, if you want to know more about Australia and your visa application, please feel free to contact us at Edge International.